below Ferguson Middle School. My name is Joseph Hampton, and I'm sitting here with Ray Ruffino from Emerson Electric. Mr. Ruffino.
So I'll give you a background on myself. I born and raised in Jamaica, Queens, New York. I stunk at school, high school, middle school, grammar school, school. I was terrible. But I was lucky along the way and had some great teachers. I had some parents and family that helped me out a bit, that saw the good, my value, and helped me bring that out in myself. So I started off as a florist. I followed my family tradition, which was two ways, either a florist or an undertaker. I went florist because, it smells better.
Right.
So I became a florist in Manhattan, in Manhattan, and also in Long Island, in New York, and got into competitions. I did really well. I won a lot of awards. But as I got older, I decided to change life a little bit and moved out from New York to Seattle with my first wife. And we got to Seattle. I became a wholesale florist, which is more of a sales-oriented approach. From Seattle, I moved to Ohio. In Ohio, again, I became a salesperson. I was in wholesale florist at the time. I then became a salesperson for a company that was at that time based in Highland, Illinois, Highland Supply Company. Did great. I took a territory and expanded it to the point where they made me VP of sales here. So I moved to Edwardsville. At that time, there was a few companies that came after me and wanted me to come to work for them. One of them was a Dutch-owned company, a really well-known company that sold greenhouse plastics and other horticultural products. So I went to work for them. Well, big shift in my life was when 9/11 happened. A few days after 9/11, on the 17th of September, day before the best day of the year, the 18th, of course, we closed down. They closed down the plants, and no severance, no nothing. I had a wife who was 6 months pregnant. I had a son going to school and house payments, car payments, you name it, but no job and no severance and no nothing. So I did whatever I could. I had to rely on myself and what I learned from school and from my family and teachers and friends. And I started to repo cars with a friend of mine who owned a repo business. And one day he asked that big question, and he said, "Boy, I wish I had a website." And to me, I thought that was so natural. Right. Everybody would know how to build a website. So I built him a website. It was real flashy. And oddly enough, he was a leader of a big organization of repoers throughout the country. And they all saw the site because it was all flash and cool. And they all wanted me to build sites for them. So I started my own little business out of the basement of my house. And that's how I sustained being able to eat, keep my roundness, keep going. A friend of mine who was a VP over at Emerson came and said, "Ray, what are you doing? Why don't you come work for us as a communications coordinator?" And at the time, he was in IT. And to me, IT was foreign. I had no idea what that was. I dealt with flowers and plants and web, okay. But I said yes, and I came for 6 months. That was 14 years ago. And what I did was I built solutions for our company of over 100,000+ employees all over the world to be able to communicate with each other, collaborate with each other. And now I'm part of a team at Emerson that facilitates the ability for Emerson to be smaller, for us to be able to share ideas. Some of the things that we do, one of them is called the new NPD, New Product Development Lifecycle. What we've taken was an old paper-based solution, which was who did you know and how did you know it, put that on paper and kind of get it through a process, to a more digital environment where a person can go to a site and say, "I have an idea." And you could be any employee anywhere in the world and share that idea. And those ideas become our products. So it's a really cool to be able to see that happening. That's mine in a nutshell.
All right, so Mr. Ruffino, I heard that you said you have a wife and kids. Could you tell me a little bit about your family?
Yep, the best part of my life. I have my wife who we've been together, we've been married for 23 years. We've been together for 28 years. She was also my best friend. I met her in Seattle. This is my second wife. And she's still my best friend. I have a 22-year-old son that just graduated from the University of Minnesota just the other day. So it was great. We all got to go and give him a hard time and clap, and I embarrassed him, which I'm supposed to do. And I have an awesome daughter. She's 14, and she's a great volleyball player. She's extremely smart. Just don't want to be on the other side of the net when she's hitting that ball, because she's got those long fingers and she's long arms, and she comes down on it. And I have a huge family. I'm one of 11 kids. So we're close. I mean, we're goofy. They're all goofier than I am, and I'm pretty goofy.
So do you think that where you grew up in Jamaica, Queens, New York, do you think that pushed you to be great?
Absolutely. Absolutely. My life experiences, think about Jamaica, Queens in those days. It was survive and thrive or die. I mean, it was just that simple. It reminds me so much now of what Ferguson has gone through over the last few years, and there's two ways of going. You can either look at the situation and say, oh, this is terrible, and woe is me, or you can look at the situation and say, what can I learn from that and grow? Because there is no ceiling. You could do what you want to do, and I'm proof of that, going from a floral designer to working for a Fortune 500 company in information technology. So yes.
Thank you. This is Joseph Hampton and Mr. Ray Worthing.
Thank you, Joseph.
Thank you for watching.
Appreciate it.